When you reflect on your time, how valuable do you think it was? The truth is that every moment in life is valuable, even the ones that weren't worth it. We only have 24 hours a day to live, and time flies by without ever returning. Every choice we make regarding how to spend that time has an impact on every facet of our lives. If you are continuously distracted by the lives of others, you are losing the chance to develop. If you are preoccupied with the problems of others around you, Marcus, you are squandering the most valuable resource you possess, your time. One of the greatest Stoic philosophers, Aurelius, famously remarked, "You have power above your head, not external circumstances, and you'll discover strength implies that you are only in charge of yourself and not the environment. Thus, you shouldn't worry about anything outside your control. But today, I want to extend an invitation to you to start building a better life from within. Discover with me the 6 Stoic principles that will help you quit worrying about other people and focus on yourself." Before we start, waste time by leaving a remark that reads, "I focus on myself, quit squandering time, and prepare to alter your perspective on life." The dangers of comparison are the first principle. The first concept is the perils of comparison. It is a fact that we are continuously assaulted by pictures of accomplishments, beauty, and success that are frequently designed to facilitate comparison. Yet continual comparison poses a serious risk since it diverts our attention from the actual meaning of life, concentrating on our own growth and advancement. As Marcus Aurelius sagely stated, "Spend no more time debating what a decent man ought to be." Instead, this quote encourages us to examine ourselves instead of looking outside to gauge our progress, using our own potential rather than the immediate benchmarks of "we lose time when we spend it comparing ourselves to other people." When contemplating your life and seeking personal development, take into account the enormous worth of time, and time is the most valuable resource, so it is crucial to use it carefully. Our resource is finite, and once it's gone, it never returns. The passing of time should not be disregarded, because each moment offers the chance for introspection and personal development and advancement, but we have squandered time, both mentally and physically, by evaluating our lives against those of others. We deprive ourselves of the chance to genuinely engage in our own abilities each time we glance around. When we compare our lives to those of others, we momentarily lose sight of our own journey. Live not just for ourselves, but also for the goals or accomplishments that others fall into the subtle but perilous comparison trap, which steals time and effort putting into your personal growth, but that's a very different story. It's not about outward signs of achievement like wealth or understanding that this is a journey that only you can take. It's about the dedication to being the best version of yourself can accomplish, in contrast to the ephemeral and frequently warped pictures we see on social true media. Expansion results from ongoing development, and it's simple to lose sight of oneself in the din of external comparisons. Yet we can only become real when we pause and pay attention to our inner guidance. The first step in this process is self-awareness. Knowing who you are is the secret to opening the door to development without any self-awareness. Since you're operating without understanding where you stand, your efforts at improvement will be misdirected. If you don't know where you're beginning from, how can you grow? Properly recognize your advantages and disadvantages. You will find it difficult to question the Stoic philosophers' teaching that self-awareness is essential to leading a moral and satisfying life. Epictetus, another renowned Stoic philosopher, admonished us in his life Epic to first determine who you are, and after you've gained self-awareness, dress appropriately. The first stage is to establish reasonable, attainable goals, reachable and in line with your abilities. The path to self-improvement isn't about attempting to do everything at once, but instead Focus on advancing steadily, one step at a time. By establishing small, manageable goals, you may create momentum for bigger advancement in the future, such as Oprah Winfrey's tale, which is a prime for instance. When Oprah began her career on television in the 1980s, she was not well known in the field. In fact, she encountered numerous obstacles, including rejections and disdain from many individuals in the field. But rather than focusing on her co-workers or other TV programs in contrast, Oprah chose to highlight her individuality and develop a unique manner. She consistently made an effort to enhance her communication abilities, establishing a relationship with the viewers and creating a television program that offered more than just entertainment, significant spiritual significance for viewers. Because of her commitment and vision, Oprah created one of the most popular shows, The Oprah Winfrey Show, influencing the production of discussion shows globally throughout television history. Oprah's path serves as an excellent illustration of maintaining self-focus and not allowing other people's comparisons to influence your own journey when you create objectives whether in your career or personal life. Keep in mind that every little triumph adds up. Confidence and inspires you to persevere over time. These accumulated successes will lead to consistent advancement. In fact, every time you do something, no matter how tiny, you not only demonstrate to yourself that advancement is achievable, but additionally, you strengthen your confidence in your own skills. This is the power of independence and self-assurance. When you keep concentrating on your personal growth, you will progressively. Despite the risks of comparison, you no longer feel the need to evaluate yourself against others. Don't just divert us from our objectives. Constantly evaluating ourselves versus others can result in contrasted with poor self-esteem and feelings of insecurity. By opting to concentrate on our individual journey, we regain emotional self-control and self-esteem. You no longer want approval from others, since your self-assurance stems from the genuine reward is being the best version of oneself, rather than outperforming others. Yourself. Thus, I'd like to know how much time you've wasted today observing the advancement. Regarding others' achievement, how many times have you wished for something? Marcus Aurelius taught us that the secret to leading a happy life is different. Life is about developing rather than seeking the fleeting aspirations of others. Of our own character, it's time to put an end to comparisons, stop squandering valuable time, and concentrate. The second concept is engaging yourself in the most crucial project. The second principle is to prioritize progress over perfection. We can easily fall into the trap of looking for the ideal version of ourselves when we prioritize progress above perfection of our work or ourselves, which not only generates pressure that is not obvious, but also impedes our advancement. Marcus Aurelius is among the most prominent proponents of the Stoic philosophy. Prominent representatives stress that the secret to inner peace is growth rather than perfection. When we acknowledge that life is a continuous journey filled with imperfections, we can discover peace and long-term success. Strength to move forward gradually instead of becoming trapped in the trap of unachievable perfection. Addressing negativity is the first step for advancement. From outside sources as well as from within ourselves, our workplace or our lives could be negative due to unsolved issues or unhappy co-workers. Problems, but rather than allowing them to dictate our feelings and ideas, we can learn to separate our thoughts from negativity, such as when a meeting causes you to feel anxious and chastised. Try remaining silent and concentrating instead of becoming upset or feeling insecure. On the plus side, this quiet is a manifestation of inner strength rather than a sign of weakness. Strength, when you don't respond to negativity since you've managed your feelings and maintained your self-respect. It's not just the negative beliefs we have about ourselves that are among ideas like, "I'm not good enough," or I'm not good enough are the biggest barriers to advancement. Can't do this are imperceptible obstacles that prevent us from advancing and attempting new things. But in order to advance rather than strive for perfection, you must learn to acknowledge and address these negative thoughts, substituting them with more constructive ones. For instance, when you feel that you can't finish a difficult activity, remind yourself that I can learn and get better every time you feel like you can't do something. This mental change will give you a more optimistic perspective, and more gaining self-confidence and learning to let go of the past are crucial components of advancement. We can carry old wounds or mistakes from the past in our hearts, which way forgiveness does not imply condoning wrongdoing, but rather releasing us from the bonds that hold us back and impede our advancement. When you release yourself from bitterness and hatred, you make room for the future, for personal development and new opportunities, ultimately creating positivity. Habits are essential to sustaining growth. Surround oneself with constructive people. People take part in motivating activities and never forget to express gratitude. Even in the most trying conditions, J.K. is a shining example. Rowling, the well-known creator of the Harry Potter books, prior to attaining enormous success. Rowling endured a difficult period, going from unemployment and destitution to rejection by publishers several times. But rather than letting the criticism get to her, she created a positive habit of consistently writing, believing in oneself, and always highlighted the value of thankfulness. Since even during her most difficult moments, she felt thankful for life's lessons and possibilities. Her tenacity was what made it possible. Her upbeat outlook that enabled her to conquer all obstacles and rank among the world's best-selling authors. Personal discipline and perseverance are sometimes the ultimate keys to making development. It's not always easy, but you may conquer it with discipline and persistence. Difficulties rather of merely striving for perfection. Concentrate on modest objectives and make step by step on the path to advancement. We don't have to be flawless, but we must be tenacious and always work to better ourselves. No matter how tiny the large is something to be grateful for. Concentrate on yourself, develop positive habits, and stay disciplined to please don't waste any more time. We would love to hear your opinions on this subject. Leave a comment with your ideas and feelings about progress over perfection. Below, rejecting principle number 3. Rejecting distractions is principle number 3. For a minute, put aside distractions and consider time to be an invaluable and irreplaceable resource. According to Marcus Aurelius, who possesses timeless knowledge, how would you handle it? Every moment we allow to pass without meaning is one we can never get back. Reclaim. Examining our time management practices helps us concentrate on what important things and to avoid distractions that limit our ability in the contemporary environment. Distractions are more common than ever because to constant social media updates. Our most precious resource, time, can be stolen by emails and the attraction of entertainment. Marcus Aurelius recognized that we need to become rigorous in order to live a worthwhile life. By preserving our time, we draw in people who value and appreciate it. The amount of time we spend together is a silent yet potent proclamation of self-worth. You start to demonstrate respect when you stop letting other people or outside circumstances control how you spend your time for yourself, and give priority to things that are in line with your basic beliefs. How may we begin to reject? The first step is to recognize and reduce the sources of distraction that we frequently encounter in our daily lives. Oneself engrossed in pointless social media surfing, answering pointless emails, or taking part in these pointless encounters are the modern world's time wasters by making it obvious. By setting limits and deciding to ignore these distractions, we may make more room for the things that really count, and setting out particular times to check emails and social media is a good way to make sure these things are done. Don't spend your entire day doing the same thing as planning a sensible job schedule. Effective time management safeguards your vitality, and concentration and efficient time management don't require you to occupy every minute of your day. When it comes to activities, it's important to concentrate on the caliber of our work. Giving yourself the mental room to think deeply is essential while working on a task that calls for it. Stoic philosophy urges us to value not only the outcomes, but also the effort itself when it is interrupted. Additionally, every minute spent on meaningful work is a well-spent moment. By developing this mentality, we understand that time isn't merely a sequence of one of the most potent instruments we have is ours. It's the canvas on which we paint the life we want. As with muscular training, time management involves creating sensible routines and habits, develops time management skills, which fortifies our ability to start simply by setting aside 15 minutes each day for an uninterrupted task to help you focus. That supports your objectives throughout time. You'll discover these tiny times building up into a strong habit that helps you develop and advance in all facets of your life. Additionally, we must surround ourselves with people who value our time. Our social circle has a big impact on how we spend our time. Therefore, if you're being surrounded by people who continuously divert your attention or sap your vitality, Epictetus and other Stoics stress the need of setting clear boundaries. The significance of carefully selecting friends, since their influence can either help you advance or hinder you by. You can make space by learning to say no to connections that don't advance your development. For those that encourage and assist your growth, it's equally crucial that removing negativity, whether it originates internally or externally. Negative thoughts can cloud our view and divert us from our objectives, can drain our vitality. Therefore, locating and eliminating negative influences is crucial, regardless of whether they originate from other people's surroundings or our own ideas, as we learn to establish limits and protect ourselves from negativity. We establish an environment in our minds where positive. In certain situations, thoughts, ideas, and behaviors can proliferate. Limiting negative relationships may force us to make tough choices. For example, there may be a coworker who. It's important to identify a friend who continuously brings turmoil into your life, or someone who continually undermines your efforts. That you should not waste your time and efforts on such. Sometimes in partnerships, this entails having difficult talks to clarify expectations, or, in severe situations, severing connections. Ultimately, when we do this, it's not only about saving time, it's also about the best thing you can do to honor yourself is to protect your time. Self-respect demonstrates that you regard your abilities, aspirations, and future when you start to take charge of your life and stop allowing distractions to control it. Marcus Aurelius' lessons on destiny serve as a reminder that time is limited and our time is valuable because it reflects who we are and who we are becoming. Gaining proficiency in time management not only increases our output, but additionally shows self-respect. By anticipating the next obvious step, is that the next important component of this is to focus on yourself. How can you focus on what's really important on your path to self-mastery? Can you make decisions that are consistent with your most profound beliefs and goals? Let's examine the worth of self-focus is a technique that not only promotes inner tranquility, but also enhances all facets of your life. The fourth essential value is the fourth principle is the importance of self-focus. What would your life be like if you decided to devote all of your attention to yourself? This is an important invitation to recover your time and energy, not a call to selfishness. At the heart of personal development is helping them become the person you want to be. resides in the idea of establishing specific objectives and approaching their pursuit as though it were a muscle-develop exercise. Suppose that every training session is an athlete getting ready for a competition, increases their stamina, sharpens their abilities, and gets them ready for more difficulties in a similar way when you set and work on particular goals every day. You develop your skills and resilience. For instance, if you want to learn a new programming or public speaking, are two examples of skills that can be developed with sustained work. Make the impossibly feasible, but in order to excel, you must, as with removing debris, start by getting rid of anything that isn't needed. Vital for eliminating harmful influences and creating a strong basis. Eliminating unneeded responsibilities and diversions from your life enables you to concentrate on what really counts is how Jane, a professional, manages to balance her busy work and personal life. Ambitions by refusing time-wasting behaviors like mindless web browsing and incessant social obligations, she discovered a means to obtain a new certification, opening the door to a promotion. Her tale demonstrates the decluttering your life can have a transforming effect and is a crucial growth pillar. Means keeping an open mind and a spirit of inquiry while reading books, listening to podcasts or investigating novel concepts will broaden your perspectives while maintaining your intelligent and flexible, such as a company executive who makes reading a daily habit regarding market trends, and their ongoing education gives them the skills to difficulties coming up with innovative ways to stay ahead in a competitive environment. However, without discipline acting as the steady foundation, all of these efforts are in vain. Imagine a student helping you through times when you're feeling unmotivated. For a significant test on days when their enthusiasm declines, consistent success is ensured by disciplined study habits. Discipline is not a aids patience is also essential, as it is the key to maintaining momentum when the first thrill fails. Growth rarely proceeds in a straight line on this trip, and setbacks and impediments are unavoidable. Embrace patience so you can avoid giving way to frustration. Consider the tale of a gardener who planted a tree in spite of months of adversity. Of care without observable development, they have faith in the procedure, understanding that roots must develop before the tree thrives. This natural evolution is reflected in your own personal progress, and you're also learning too. The experience of life's milestones is enhanced by appreciating the trip more than the destination. Resilience through self-focus is the capacity to accept criticism rather than seeing it as criticism, as a useful compass to guide you along the path of development. Picture when a writer shows their work to a mentor they can trust, the first comments they receive may show flaws in style or organization, but instead of viewing them as a personal shortcoming, the author utilizes them to improve this readiness to hear criticism and act upon it. Not only creates distinctive abilities, but also encourages ongoing development and a progress-oriented perspective. Promotes acknowledging flaws as a normal and essential component of development. The fear of making mistakes frequently inhibits our creativity and restricts our Marcus Aurelius tells us that action is impeded by potential. In the quest for personal growth, what gets in the way becomes the way. Perseverance becomes a partner in creating something significant. Whether a relationship or a skill-based career need patience and constant work. Self-focused activity that builds resilience entails focusing on the process rather than clinging to immediate results. Outcomes, similar to a gardener who is aware of boundaries and knows that seeds they nurture and wait, knowing that tomorrow won't be the same as today. Growth is taking place below the surface, and this way of thinking encourages a feeling of satisfaction as each phase of development turns into a delight, highlighting the importance of presence. Concentrating on the process has enormous long-term advantages, by we feel more joy and contentment when we let go of the need for perfection. Success is now determined by the journey itself, rather than by an impractical ideal. Consistent work and self-compromise lead to fulfillment over time. This strategy creates a foundation of strength and resilience that enables us to confront obstacles with poise and resolve by adhering to our principles and welcoming small, steady progress. We develop a meaningful and purposeful existence by remembering resilience via self-focus is a transformative strategy for overcoming obstacles in life by putting progress ahead of perfection. We cultivate flexibility, embrace flaws, and cultivate the presence required for long-term development. Stoic wisdom informs us that we all possess inner strength, and by concentrating on ourselves, we can attain the sixth and final principle of life of fullness and meaning. Final motivational insights for principle number 6. Inspirational quotes. Picture yourself standing in the midst of a noisy room where everyone is discussing achievement and fame and far-off objectives they are excitedly talking about in an effort to impress with their accomplishments. But one person sits silently in the corner of the room without saying anything. His eyes are intense, as though he's wondering if what I'm doing is really important. Or am I merely attempting to attract people's attention? This is the fundamental lesson that the Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius highlighted, that he was not just a great leader, but also someone who recognized the value of endurance and concentration. When you quit wasting time on things that don't really matter, the personal journey circumstances beyond your control, you'll come to see that taking care of oneself is not only a decision, but also a profoundly meaningful one. Way of life. You have to make hundreds of little decisions every day that your identity is shaped by the way you respond to seemingly unimportant. Every choice you make about how to spend your time is a brick in the wall. Marcus Aurelius once placed the cornerstone of your future in meditations. Serve as a reminder that our thoughts shape our lives. Not only relieves you of your authority, but also confirms that the best way to honor yourself is to concentrate on your individual path. When you put your attention on what really matters to you, you're living, not just existing. Purposefully committing to your dreams is a silent declaration rather than only an action. Believe your objectives are worthwhile, but in order to achieve them, you need a strong mentality that prioritizes your basic principles over obtaining praise from others. The tale of a marathon runner who does not provide a clear illustration of this race, not only to be the fastest, but also to defeat himself with each step he takes, without looking at the runner next to him or give a damn about criticism. He only thinks about himself. In the end, he not only finishes the race, but also senses breath and footsteps. The deep significance of dedication, honesty and decency and will to concentrate on your own path. You need to be brave enough to face life is full of hurdles, ranging from failure and judgment to temptations that lead you to give up. But it's crucial to keep in mind that every challenge serves as a teaching moment and a chance to create your own legacy. Imagine scaling a mountain. Each laborious stride, each hand scratch, provides you with inner strength and advances you toward the top. As Marcus Aurelius confirmed, when something gets in the way of progress, it becomes the obstacle. Respecting your individual journey not only increases your self-assurance, but removes the stress of competing with others as well. This does not imply recognizing that you are on your own route, where the direction and speed are, rather than isolating oneself determined by you. Marcus Aurelius shows us that rather than relying on other people for acknowledgement, we have to examine ourselves and ask, am I living in according to my beliefs? When you prioritize yourself, life becomes a sequence of ideals and objectives. You won't get enmeshed in the whirlpool of comparison or expectations. A little tale of a gardener who dedicates his life to, he concentrates on his garden and ignores rumors concerning his job. Only on the tree that he is caring for after many years grows and produces results, and people start to appreciate his work. But for him, the real meaning is found in the daily process of taking care of it. Not in the awe of your journey is different from others. And there will be moments when you want to pause or question if you're headed in the correct direction. But keep in mind every step. Regardless of how little the issue, patience not only benefits you conquer obstacles, but also demonstrate your inner strength by exercising patience. Don't waste time on things you can't control on your trip. Have faith that every wise decision you make today will result in a more fulfilling and significant life. We have examined the potential of final results. Putting yourself first and avoiding time waste is a crucial lesson from I believe this movie will help you understand Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosophy. Understand that exercising self-control and concentrating on the important things not only leads to success, but are also essential to leading a more purposeful and happy life. So what concerning you? What causes you to feel as though you're squandering the most time, and what? Please provide your opinions in the comments section below if you plan to modify that. Please leave a comment if you liked this video, or if you have any recommendations. Leave a 0 for improvement. We're always listening to help things get better. Remember to use the like button if you thought this video was helpful. Share it to help promote a positive message, and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. A new one will show up at the bottom of the screen. Click to continue your quest for inspiration and inner power. I'll see you in the next video.